I went through a particularly difficult period in my life for a while. Every day, I struggled with tasks that did not satisfy me. In this environment, I had to deal with various people telling me what I should and should not do. Moreover, I was dealing with difficult people and a complicated relationship. To be honest, I was feeling quite negative about all of this, and I gradually realized that I was losing control of my life. Every day, even every moment, I was full of the worst expectations, and due to my endless anxieties about the future, I had abandoned myself to unhappiness and despair. You know how they say, "I wish the ground would open up and swallow me"? I was far beyond that point. I thought I had ruined my life due to a single decision I had made nearly 9 years ago, and because of that, I kept blaming everyone else. As I felt crushed between a rock and a hard place, one day I came across a single word: Stoicism. I discovered this philosophy, whose meaning could not be confined to volumes of books. Suddenly, I found a chance to dispel the fog clouding my subconscious and to lift the dark shadow that had fallen over me. In the chaos of my mind, I discovered a clear, untouched place that no previous dream of mine had ever reached. Slowly, I began to change and heal. After devouring all the books and articles I could find on the subject, I became so captivated by this philosophy that I decided to share it with others. The transformations were incredible. Anxiety and stress turned into calmness and inner peace. My choices became clearer and more aligned with my values. Most importantly, I began to find deeper meaning in my life each day. Now I want to share with you how Stoicism can be a turning point that transforms your life. Let's dive into the fundamentals of this philosophy and explore how it can be applied in today's world. Furthermore, let's witness how these principles can serve as a valuable guide in facing the challenge of rebuilding a more meaningful life. If you're ready for a journey of personal discovery and transformation, I invite you to stay with me until the end of this video. This video will be one of the deepest presentations on this channel. Please, whatever problem you are struggling with, if you feel trapped between choices or despair, find a place where no one will disturb you and just listen to me. Surrender yourself to the guiding wisdom of Stoicism. Whatever story you are living, never forget this. Even stories with happy endings have a sorrowful tale. By absorbing the teachings of Stoic luminaries like Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Zeno, I entered an extraordinary world of wisdom. In short, Stoicism is a philosophical pursuit that focuses on developing virtue, willpower, and understanding. Its core principle is that while external events are beyond our control, we do have influence over our reactions and perspectives. This gives us a viewpoint capable of overcoming the various challenges of life. One of the key elements of Stoicism is distinguishing between what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and choices, and what is beyond our control, such as external events and the opinions of others. Stoicism offers the wisdom of investing our efforts in what we can change, rather than wasting energy on what is unchangeable. This philosophy goes beyond mere conceptualization. It provides concrete methodologies for daily existence, helping us manage stress, anxiety, melancholy, and indecision while seeking authentic and lasting happiness. Throughout this video, we will explore the fundamental principles and practical applications of Stoicism. We will discuss the importance of virtues like courage, resilience, acceptance, and aligning our actions with our core values. If you have ever felt overwhelmed by life's challenges and sought practical solutions for a more meaningful existence, Stoicism may be the key for you. This video offers you valuable teachings and perspectives. Stoicism can be the key to a new beginning in your life and open the doors to a richer, more meaningful existence. However, it's important to remember that this philosophy is here to guide and direct. But the real action must come from you. No philosophy can completely transform you. On your journey to becoming a true Stoic, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to follow the valuable tips I will be sharing. This ancient yet still relevant philosophy has the power to change our lives. Just as it deeply transformed mine, you now have the ability to restart your life in a moment. Would you do it? Starting over doesn't necessarily mean forgetting or erasing your past. It's about learning lessons from real experiences and using this accumulated wisdom to shape a brighter and more promising future. Marcus Aurelius teaches us that the obstacle in the way becomes the way. He says, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way," urging us to reflect on this. The challenges you face in life are there to reveal your potential and push your limits. If you show the courage to overcome obstacles and continue to fight, those things cease to be obstacles and become a path that brings you closer to your goal. These words emphasize seeing difficulties as opportunities, acting with determination, and dealing with obstacles to achieve our goals. Sometimes, even in your most anxious, fearful, powerless, and desperate moments, all you need to do is take the next step. As he says, take the next step. No one can stop you. Starting over is an art. It's a balance between learning from mistakes and moving forward with renewed hope. The way we respond to situations reflects our perception. If we see the world as a hostile place, we act defensively. But if we approach with kindness, our actions reflect love. Stoicism encourages us to question and adjust our perception of life, to see reality clearly and objectively without being blinded by uncontrolled emotions. As Seneca said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Sometimes, pain arises not from something that has happened, but from something that exists only in our minds. But what if we saw every obstacle as an opportunity? Stoics view obstacles not as fate, but as exercises that strengthen the soul. This can open up new paths and take us further than we thought possible. By encouraging us to see challenges as opportunities for growth, they remind us that just as fire refines gold, difficulties refine and strengthen strong individuals. This is what drew me to Stoicism. Everything we encounter in life ultimately shapes our existence. This is what makes Stoicism so astonishing and relevant today. Marcus Aurelius shared his words in his book Meditations, not with the world, but with himself. This book was his personal journal, reflecting his deep thought processes about pursuing reality and purpose. It shows how essential our inner dialogue is to our lives. That's why we must be our own best friends. I'm not saying we don't need friends, but we must value our own company everywhere and find happiness within ourselves, independent of others. Relying on someone else's happiness is one of the greatest traps we can fall into. Stoicism reminds us of the impermanent nature of everything: happiness, pain, success, failure, and encourages us to value significant moments while being ready to let them go at any time. Epictetus reminds us that everything comes with a cost. Choose what you value and be ready to give up the rest. The Stoic journey is not easy, but it is incredibly rewarding. It teaches us to value ourselves, to find strength in adversity, and to live with purpose. Dealing quietly with disrespect or other difficult situations can be tough, but it is necessary for a fulfilling life. Stoicism emphasizes living in harmony, not only with the external world, but also with our inner nature. Ask yourself, am I acting according to my true desires and principles, or am I merely reacting to the expectations of others? Remember, we are constantly evolving, and our thoughts shape our lives. Often we forget our true selves and try to please others in a search for external approval. Stoicism invites us to realize our inner worth, independent of the opinions of others. As Epictetus said, true freedom is not bending to the will of others. In other words, the key to becoming a new you lies within yourself. Acceptance is not the same as submission. It's about understanding the truth and acting wisely. Acceptance means recognizing what is beyond our control, but maintaining our ability to control how we respond to these events. It's about understanding reality and deciding how to cope with it. Instead of waiting for the storm to pass, we learn to dance in the rain. The only thing we truly possess and the most important thing we have is time. The past is a memory and the future is uncertain. Real power lies in the present moment. Worrying about the future or dwelling on the past takes us away from the present and traps us in a vicious cycle. Stoics didn't just talk about their philosophy, they lived it every day. They continually strove to improve, learn, and grow. What kind of legacy do we want to leave behind? Stoicism teaches us that our legacy is defined not just by our words but by our actions. Life is not measured by the number of breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. In a world where people often try to take advantage of us, it's important to remember the power of both inner and outer silence. In silence, we find clarity, purpose, and a deeper connection with ourselves. This space allows us to think, recharge, and focus on what truly matters. Following Epictetus's advice to explain your philosophy and embody it, we realize that progress often requires letting go of what holds us back. Whether it's an outdated perception of ourselves or something else, through Stoicism, we find the freedom to pursue our true potential. The quality of our thoughts is far more important to our happiness than wealth, power, or status. Valuing virtue, the manifestation of good in our actions, and living with integrity are essential. As Marcus Aurelius reminded us, life is short not because we don't have enough time, but because we waste most of it on trivial matters. On our journey, we must think about which virtues we are developing. Life's inevitable difficulties cannot be ignored, but Stoicism teaches us that what truly matters is not what happens to us, but how we respond to it. Don't waste your time on insignificant things. Always strive to improve, because through this evolution, a new version of yourself can emerge. You can bring out your best self. Like a flower reaching for the sun, every challenge is an opportunity for learning, growth, and strengthening. As Epictetus said, it's not about avoiding wounds in life, but not surrendering to them. When we were young, the future seemed like an endless sea of possibilities. So why does it now feel like nothing is working? Analyzing your actions, discerning what works and what doesn't, can be a turning point. However, like many journeys, mine was also overshadowed by a dark cloud. What was once an occasional escape from the chaos of the world, alcohol, cigarettes, and wasting time in front of the computer, had become a daily need. It darkened my days and made my nights even gloomier. I found myself drinking every day. My surroundings were filled with superficial friendships, sustained only by alcohol. Without alcohol, there was no friendship or relationship. Happiness became harder to achieve, and the relationships I valued began to fall apart. That's when, at the peak of this self-destructive spiral, I encountered Stoic philosophy, which I mentioned at the beginning of the video. At that moment, I understood what Stoicism really was. This discovery marked the beginning of a new era for me. I decided to become a different person and embrace the principles of Stoicism. I hope this video will serve as a spark for new beginnings for you as well. So now, pause the video and leave a comment below saying, "I will become a new person," and seal it with today's date. Let's start a renewal here and now. I reflected on how uncontrolled passions can imprison and dominate us. Inspired by the lessons of Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and other Stoic philosophers, I began my journey toward becoming the best version of myself. I learned the importance of self-discipline, resilience in the face of difficulties, and that while we can't control everything that happens to us or what people say, we can control how we respond to these events in ways that don't negatively affect us. Today, several years after this turning point, I have completely left my former self behind. Every day, I am grateful for that critical moment when I encountered Stoicism. About 8 months ago, I decided to change and become different. I quit alcohol and cigarettes. How much longer will you wait to overcome your own addictions? This philosophy has taught me to value life, to face challenges with strength, and to find a true sense of freedom. External things no longer control my life. I am now the captain of my own clarity and purpose. My mission now is to share all of these teachings with you. The journey may not be easy, but Stoic teachings were a guiding light during the darkest and hardest hours. Here are some suggestions for you to start developing skills and incorporating transformative principles into your daily life from today. Take time each morning to reflect. Spend a few minutes each morning meditating, reflecting on the experiences of the previous day, and visualizing how you want the current day to unfold. Mentally prepare yourself for challenges and maintain your calm in stressful situations. Keep a gratitude journal. Write down something you are grateful for each day. This helps you focus on the positive and appreciate the small joys of life. Engage in regular physical activity. Stoics valued a healthy body through activities like walking, running, yoga, or anything you enjoy that keeps you fit. Remember the principle of control. When faced with difficulties, recall the Stoic principle of distinguishing between what you can and cannot control. Focus on making wise decisions and calmly accept what is beyond your control. Develop self-discipline. Work on self-discipline in areas such as eating, finances, and time management. Set realistic goals and work consistently towards them. Conduct a nightly self-evaluation. Before bed, review what you did throughout the day. Assess whether you acted in alignment with your values and Stoic principles. Identify areas for improvement and planning. Learn from inspiring examples. Study the works or biographies of figures like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, who embraced Stoic values. Learn from their experiences. Distance yourself from others' opinions. Avoid worrying excessively about what others think. Focus on acting according to your own principles and values. Be aware of life's transience. Remember the inevitability of death. Use this awareness as motivation to value life and make careful decisions. Develop skills. Spend time learning or improving skills. Personal development is essential in Stoicism and increases confidence in facing challenges. Accept what is beyond your control. Acknowledge that external events cannot harm you unless you allow them to. Accepting what is uncontrollable reduces suffering. Value authenticity in relationships. Seek relationships based on virtue and mutual benefit. Read philosophical texts daily. Commit to reading philosophical texts or Stoic authors every day, reflecting on how their teachings can be applied to your life. Contemplate mortality. Taking time to reflect on mortality helps put daily worries into perspective and encourages appreciation for the present moment. Cultivate positive self-regard. Instead of judging yourself for factors outside your control, face challenges with self-compassion and motivation. Value sacrifice and social engagement. Look for ways to help others without expecting a reward. This strengthens your sense of purpose and fulfillment. Remember, Stoicism requires consistency. These practices do not promise immediate change, but over time, they can transform your life and mindset when facing challenges. Seek growth and learning in difficulties. Maintain balance in desires and emotions, and develop emotional self-discipline. Control negative impulses and set safe boundaries for your mental and emotional health. Stoicism offers a powerful path for personal transformation. We discussed a set of daily practices inspired by this ancient philosophy that can help you develop self-discipline, resilience, and tranquility in everyday life. It's important to note every aspect of this video for your development. The practices, ranging from morning meditation to empathy and serving others, provide the tools needed to face challenges with calmness and focus. As Marcus Aurelius said, the key is action. Knowing these ideas is not enough. It's crucial to apply them every day. Start today. Choose one or more of these practices and observe over time how your perspective and well-being change. If this video has been helpful to you and you would like more guidance on personal development and practical philosophy, please support my channel by subscribing. I would love to hear how these practices impact your journey of transformation and what topics you'd like to see addressed in future videos. Remember, the road to a richer and more meaningful life begins with small daily actions and the continuous application of Stoic principles. Following the tradition of this channel, I leave you with a thought. Have you ever faced a major challenge in life? How could applying Stoic principles have affected your perspective or helped you in that situation? If you had used this philosophy earlier, where do you think you'd be now? Share in the comments. Thank you all for your support and presence. I hope this video has been helpful, and if you truly want to change your life, there are some important actions you need to start doing first thing in the morning. I'm leaving this video for you here. Now there is a video here that carries a piece of all of us. Be stoic, stay happy,